Good evening, everybody. I'm Go Veer, Go Home. Welcome to Rail Talk. Today, we are starting a brand new project that I've already technically started on. I wanted to make sure that I was doing some actual work here today and not doing the whole, taking pieces out of a sprue and cleaning them off. So I did that all week. Also, I managed to get some of the stuff already pre-painted somewhat, but I still left a lot. There's a lot to do, and I'm looking forward to doing this. So the main idea for this build, and I'm going to show you the. It doesn't show you much there. It's one of these. It's the Walthers Cornerstone HO scale diesel house, but with a twist. I'm doing 3 of them, and they're going to be side by side, and it's going to be one really big kit that is going to be like a diesel engine facility. They're going to do maintenance to go cars. It's going to be this whole thing, a whole rigmarole, and you guys get to join in and watch this monstrosity come together, and you'll get to see a lot of that happen here tonight. Also, I'll get to show you a lot of the plans with the building, including the paint that I'm using, the colors that I'm using, lighting, how I'm going to do the lighting, and I'm even going to wire it as well. So that'll be fun. But yeah, so we'll get started because I've done, I already did the unboxing and all that, and hopefully you guys did catch that. And we've got a lot to do. So before I do, though, because we usually start at about 8 o'clock, I just want to say hi to everybody who has joined in already. We've got Brian. Brian got the Timbits. Tired of everybody getting cookies, This is a Canadian show. We're Canadian here. You're getting a Timbit. So Brian gets the Timbits today. And then M&M Rails, who just missed it by a cruller. And then, of course, we've got John. Hey, John, and Darren, and Austin Possum, and Anthony. How's it going? Mike H.O. Trains. What's going on? Floyd. How's it going, Floyd? And we've got everybody's chatting away. Mark is sad that he didn't get the Timbits. And John Train. How's it going, John? All right. So so I'm gonna start building this kit. I'm gonna show you what I've already done, and then we're gonna kind of chip away at it. But you can't really see much from there except for me. But you don't have to look at me because I'm not anything to look at here. So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna turn this around. Sorry for the shakiness. Sorry for the shaky cam. But I got to put my little tripod thing here on the bottom so that you guys can see what it is that I'm doing here. Okay, here we go. Okay. So, with what we're doing, I had to take a bunch of these. So these are the outside walls. And you get 2 of them per kit. You get a left and a right. And these are going to go at the very, very end on each side. You can see I've got the 3 columns and then the one long one. These will get windows. These will get glass. And you'll still be able to see inside, but it's going to be obviously blocked off with all the window fixings. All the middle ones, which these are the middle ones here. You can see I took out the middle supports here just to kind of make it a little bit more open. You're going to be able to look in and look right across, and you might see a lot more of the support columns, the support beams. But I wanted to open it up. And of course, I had to do there's 4 of them. Yeah, there's 4. And I also did both sides white. I didn't really need to do anything too fancy with those, but you'll see I did white on the inside of this, And then on the outside, I did the white and then like the concrete, the new concrete color. So that's how that's going to be. I got to put the window stuff on there coming up, but we will see how that goes. I haven't done the front and the back walls yet. They are all here. They're all clean. They're all good to go. But I ran out of white paint. Now, I did just get back from taking my youngest to a birthday party. And while he was at the birthday party, the wife and I went to Walmart, and I did get another can of white paint. So I'm going to be able to do these, tomorrow. Doesn't take long when the weather is still nice. These go in the windows. I did these all today, both sides. This is like the window. It's supposed to be framing to make it look like it's a bunch of little windows. And I did a gray, I think a dark gray. I think it looks nice. But yeah, I managed to get all those painted. But the thing is that I only need to do the outside. So I did the front, the back, and the left side and the right side. But all the ones for the middle, it's all extra pieces. So I don't even need a lot of those. Next up is the base, the foundation, the main part of each of these kits. You can see, obviously, they have been painted gray. There is 3 of them. And there's barely enough room to set up all 3 here. So I'm going to have to do one at a time. But basically, I did the concrete gray. And it'll match that. So I'm going to do, that goes on there, And then I have to do some yellow striping. So I've already taped it off, and then I gave it a spray with clear coat. And what that does is that seals the edge there. So when I put the yellow in, it should be a clean line, hopefully. Here's hoping. Which is what I'm going to do first, because while that's drying, I'm going to show you other pieces that I had to pop out and whatnot. Yeah, it's a lot of work. There's rail supports that go along here on all 3 times 3. It came out to just under 400 little. Do I have it here? I do. I don't know if I can reach it though. Hold on. I'll show you. This took 2 days. Took 1 day to paint it, but it took 2 days to pop every single one of these out and clean it. And there's almost 400 on this board here. So it's a lot of work. I often say I don't mind building kits for people. Like if somebody reached out to me and said, "Hey, can you build this kit for me?" No problem. If it was this kit, I'd say do all this and then I'll do the rest. Because yeah, that's a lot of work. So I was severely annoyed with that. That's probably the only downside to this kit. But other than that, it's fun doing this. I'm kind of stuck between different yellows here that I should use as far as, the caution yellow. But I think I can kind of narrow it down here a little bit further. How's it going, Steve? I have patience for some things. For this, probably. So, yeah. And plus, I was doing it while I was working, too. Don't tell my boss. But yeah, it helps the day go a little bit faster. So this might be too light. The bright yellow. Let me take a look at the bright yellow and see. Again, this is just an acrylic, so yeah, might have to do the bright yellow. But I also like sun yellow because it's... Hey, Nelson, how's it going? Eh, let's just do the bright yellow. Hey, Dwight. Yeah. So it was a long summer, and I spent most of that moving. And after that, it was just like trying to recuperate from moving. And then after that, well, then, the kids go back to school and never a dull moment, really. So I'm a very busy individual in most cases. And I do a lot of stuff. And I literally just a week ago got back from Vegas because my wife and we just celebrated our 11-year wedding anniversary, and we never had a honeymoon, so we went to Vegas, and that was fun. On the way back, we stopped at Otter Valley, which is where I picked up these. And then all week long I've been working, work, work, work. You know how it is. And now all I want to do is work on the layout and play trains because I feel like I haven't done much of that in the last several months. So that's what I'm gonna do. Now, speaking of busy weeks and all that, this is definitely going to be a busy week for me. So I'm live tonight because I go live now like every Saturday night when I do my Rail Talk Live. And then Monday night, where it's normally James and Mike for Off the Rails Monday, James is out of town this week and Mike is still MIA. So I offered to do a takeover because they were very, James and Mark took over GV After Dark last month while I was in Vegas. So I said, yeah, I'll cover for you guys on Monday. And I already think I know what I'm going to do because here's the thing. If you've ever watched James and Mike, they're always up to no good. And, they're always running trains, putting holes in walls, and, just being fun guys. So I'm like, well, I have to kind of honor them in that way too. I gotta make things interesting. So I think I'll be putting a hole in my wall Monday night. I don't know if I'm going to use dynamite like Mike or, stake a hammer to it. I don't know yet. But that's kind of the plan. Now, along with Monday night, I'm also part of this little ditty that we like to call Third Rail Thursday. Third Rail Thursday, every Thursday night, one of us goes live. Typically, Tim will have the first Thursday of the month, except for this past Thursday. I think he was MIA. Sorry to anybody who was looking forward to it. I think he had an abundance of work to do, and he just couldn't get away from it. So we did miss him, but he'll be back. He was doing a live today, too, which was kind of neat. I do the second Thursday of the month. So that's going to be this Thursday coming up. And then I'll be back here next Saturday, to do some more rail talk. So it's a long week I've got ahead of me here. Nelson is painting some ITLA brickwork tonight. Good luck with that. I've been there. There's a lot of bricks. So this here, I find that this acrylic is kind of thin. So I almost have to put it on thick just for it to give a good color. And of course I'm going to have to let this dry, but I'm hoping that it dries with little to no wait time here. And then I can remove the tape, and then I can start doing the platforms and whatnot, because I did paint the platforms as well. I do have to do the yellow safety striping on that, so that is another job for tonight. Floyd was planning to come up to meet me at Otter Valley. Well, next time. I go down there at least, once, twice a year, depending on the time of year and if there's something big that has come in. Sometimes I like to go down to pick up the big orders, especially if I'm like in a rush to get it. They were supposed to do the open house, but they just couldn't get it done this year. So I was down in the area anyways. I got to meet John. John is one of the avid viewers. It's always nice to meet people that appreciate the time that I take to do the lives. For me personally, I think I appreciate people watching more, because I would do this all day long, but you take the time to come and watch me do this all day long. So I also got to see James. James came by, the otter, and Doug, DC Doug, and then Doug, James, my wife, and we actually had lunch after, which was very nice. I know that there was some people that were saying, "What did you get? Show us what you got," because people assume that every time I go, I got to get something while I'm there, and you're 100% right. Oh, hey Dave, Crooked River, check your email. I sent you a link. Oh, you went to the OSR? Lucky. Couldn't stick around too long. I had to get back, and it's a long drive. I think we ended up getting home at like 8. So, yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's very mild, but it's like, it's yellow. I'm running out of places to put this stuff. Next one. Who's excited for Springfield this year? Springfield, Mass. because every January they got the Amherst Train Show. Last year was my first year going to Amherst, and I honestly had a blast. I got to meet a lot of you, a lot of the tubers from across the border there, which is awesome because I don't normally go down to the States or train shows in the States. So when I went, I obviously got to meet a lot of you, and that was cool. A lot of the manufacturers too. I always see Rapido like everywhere. I've been to Rapido HQ, so seeing them is like whatever. At this point, I still like seeing them, but being able to meet a lot of the bigwigs from Intermountain, that was really cool. And got to meet Lee from Bowser. So cool. So I'll be down there again this year. Well, when I say this year, I mean like January, but you know what I mean. Amherst is the best. Last year, I was very set on buying trees, super trees, because that's where I was at with my layout. And I don't think I'm going to be at that point this year when I go. I know it's sad, right? I wish I could be at that point on this layout, but I'm not. So I don't think I'll be jumping on the tree wagon if there's a tree wagon. So I think I'll be looking at a few other things, see what else is for sale. Really interested in the new announcements as well. There's always new announcements, of course, from a lot of the bigwigs while being at one of the biggest shows. The guys from KD are really nice too. They were in the booth next to the Otter Valley booth, where that's where I was hanging out and helping out. And they were so nice. I also got myself and a lot of the guys here, like Mark and Bubs, who couldn't make it out there. I got them all the KD keychains, so I got to go back and I got to get more. It's like the dumbest thing, but it's like it making me so happy. So I'm like, oh, I have to get these for the guys, and I'm pretty sure they still use them. I think there was even one shop that ended up just saying, "Give me the whole box," and they ended up buying whatever was left. But you'll probably be able to catch myself, and Trackside Mike normally goes too, so you'll be able to see us there for sure. This takes a little bit of time to do, especially the all the little stands. And if I get to the point today where I'm actually gluing them down, you're going to see just how tedious some of this can actually be. I did this kit though as an individual kit, just the one, a good 7 or 8 years ago, and I feel like I learned a lot because this time around I'm actually reading the instructions. So there's certain parts where I'm like, oh, I should have really done that. Okay, so yeah, certain things that I'm going to do differently on this one, which will probably be more of a correct way to do it. So hopefully it looks a little bit better than the one that I did before. Although the blue was very nice. I was designing it more as just a via rail maintenance shed. I don't even think I ended up using it on my layout. I just had it. And that's kind of what happens with a lot of these kits, where I'll see a kit or a kit gets announced, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta have that kit, but I don't even have a place on my layout for it. Kind of like the steel mill and a few other kits that I have or I've purchased in the past. And then sometimes I just end up selling them, you know, when it doesn't really work out, or if I'm like, why did I buy this? I don't know. Like even the new bowling alley came out, and I had to show some restraint. Then I seen that it was like $70 for the Walthers bowling alley, and I was like, ooh, it's a little too spicy for me. Especially with the fact that I don't even have anywhere to put it, right? So there's that. Okay, 2 down. Hopefully that doesn't fall on the ground. And third one. Okay. Chris, are you going to get the Rapido CP steam engine and the Scale Train CP engine? New paint scheme. Funny you mention, I do have a locomotive here. It's not mine, but I picked up the Empress. Not for me, it's for somebody else. Somebody else purchased it. I don't want to ruin any surprises. All I can say is that it's like right across the room here in a box. So the wooden box is in another box. But I hear it's a very nice locomotive. I just don't run CP. I don't really run Steam. I've got nothing against Steam, but it's a little out of my era. I've been trying to, narrow down even further what I run and what I'd like to run and all that stuff. And I've been selling off a lot of my Ontario Northland just for the fact that, as much as I love it, it's not going to run prototypically with what I plan to do. And I think what I plan to do going forward, even if I moved again, is focus more on a Toronto-based layout, because that's really what I want. I had fun doing, North Bay and whatnot with my last layout, and running a lot of Ontario Northland stuff in that sense, but I want to stick more with Toronto. Tirana. Now, if anybody else is miraculously enough working on this exact same kit, let me know. Let me know in the chat there. And if you'd like to come up and share. I know it's such a weird kit to say, oh, I've got this kit. I'm going to work on it right now. Oh, the covers for my gondolas. So they are Dave Carey. Dave Carey, I think he lives down in the States somewhere. He makes resin ones. And I had to order them through him. And there's two different styles, but I got all the same style. And it wasn't cheap, but yeah, I got like 13 or 14 of them. But yeah, I said that, if I sold any of the gondolas, I honestly don't have any use for the caps, so I will include the caps, but a little bit more of a cost, right? Because I had to have them made and whatnot, and they're specifically just for the whatchamacallit, the Rapidos. Yeah, Dave Carey. I believe that's his name. I haven't spoken with him in a while, but yeah, good dude. Yeah, he's on Facebook. He's around. I haven't spoken with him in a while, but I don't even know if he still makes them, to be honest with you. But if he's got a resin, like if it's cast resin, then I'm sure he still has the molds, and he'd be able to do up a set. Around the layout, how's it going? You're going to Amherst, correct? You were there last year. You were one of the great people I got to meet. Mike and I came by, Trackside Mike. We came by your booth and I got to meet you, which is really cool. Because it's different when you talk to people online like this. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, talking to people, and then like getting to meet them in real life. I mean, it's really cool. So it was really nice to get to meet you as well. Right now, I'm currently doing the Diesel House, but I'm doing 3 of these side by side, and I'm making a really big. I might, if I finish it and it looks really good, I might even bring it. I don't know. I might have to do a display. Doesn't really have anything to do with what the Otter is selling, but I like to showcase some of my work as well. I do plan to detail the inside, add lights and all that. So it'd be kind of cool. It's fun because I had some cars, some of the Otter Valley cars, pipe cars, and the trash gondolas, and I had some that I personally owned, and I weathered, to put on display there, just to say, hey, this is kind of like what you can do. These are your options. And a dude came up and he actually said, "Can I buy your cars off you?" And I was flabbergasted. I was like, "What? You want to buy my cars? Like what? And I'm like, "Does this make me an artist now?" I thought it was so cool, and he was very happy with this purchase. So, I'm like, I'm gonna have to get more cars to weather because now I have, a couple of less cars. There we go. So yeah, just some safety striping, and hopefully that trick works. I taped it and then I sprayed it with just clear coat, and that's supposed to seal the edge so that it doesn't bleed at all. So hopefully that works. I will be at Amherst both days. Looking forward to seeing you again. Absolutely. I'll swing by. If not, come by the Otter Valley booth. We'll be happy to see you. I need to get the new signal installed on the module. Yeah, that module is sick. I took some pictures and I posted. Obviously, I was like, not mine, but like, look how cool this is. I love going around taking pictures of other people's work because it's just some of it just blows my mind how good it is. Again, seeing a picture is only half of the awesome, you know? Like when you can see something like that in real time, you just have such a greater love for it, you know? Stupid chair. Squeaky chair. Take the tape off and we'll find out. Yeah. I might do that live, might not. We'll see what happens. I do have some more here that I did. So these are the elevated platforms. Again, you've got like a nice line right here, and then I'm going to do the front as well. So this is going to, again, very interesting stuff. I'm going to see what happens here. I'm not going to blame Perry if it doesn't work. Right, Perry? I'd like to add lighting signals as well to the building to say, you know, okay, so green light, you know, you can back up into the building or whatever, or red light, nope, this one's occupado, you know. But we'll see what happens. I do want to dabble a bit more with electrical. I don't like doing electrical, but I don't want to shy away from it either. There has to be an easy way to do it, right? Blue light for men at work. See, these are all the things that I would need to look into. So far, I only have it where it's going to be lit up in the pits. But I can definitely go for adding colored LEDs and whatnot for certain things. I'm down. Now, whether or not some of these might need an extra coat, I'll figure that out once it dries. We'll see. But I'm just hoping that one coat, one and done, kind of does it here for me. Again, I had to tape off all of these after cleaning them off and doing the whole, you know, removing from the sprue. And it's everything times 3. Can't stress that enough. Doing one is already very, you know, frustrating, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't have to be frustrating, but for me, sometimes repetition can lead to boredom sometimes. So I felt bad for Perry working on 3 locomotives and doing like the exact same thing with all 3. Perry, I need you to do one of these locomotives for me, but I need you to do 2 more. Sorry, Perry. I hope it was not too painful. Hey, Ronald, how's it going? Can you spray paint them, Chris, to make it go faster? I could. Do I have yellow spray paint, though? That's the question. And I think the answer is no. I do not think I have yellow spray paint. I think it's because I've got like 3 or 4 different yellows that are acrylic. So I'm just like, which one, kind of decide on the fly. But yeah, I've never really gone to buy a yellow spray paint. Oh, did you guys hear about testers? Oh no, testers in Canada. Hopefully they're able to get their stuff together and, able to get their stuff approved to be in Canada again, because that's no good. Hey Chris, how's it going? Oh, I gotta show it. Just because I'm pretty excited. Hang on, did I save it? Cat playing with toy, cat playing with toy. Nope, I didn't save it. Except Perry did this. Or these. One of these is for me, and one of these is for Chris there, big CW. And then there's also one for James as well. Very excited about those. So excited, actually. This might be a little bit more tricky because it's both sides. Oh yeah. Speaking of buying stuff last Saturday, so for those who are interested, of course, for the people who asked me what I got, what did you get? What did you get? What did you go to the Otter Valley and what did you buy? So, of course, I got these 3 kits. I got a box of track, my very first box of track for the new layout, which I think half of it is going to go to, putting the rails in this facility. I got the rest of it's basically right here. So when the rail goes to the front of the facility and it comes out, I'm going to attach it to, this is a 3-inch straight piece of Atlas Code 100. So these are going to be locked on the front as a solid piece. And then the module is going to be, right to the front of this. And then I hook flex into the front of this, and then it carries on to the rest of the layout. So this is just the gapping piece between the edge and, whatever. And then, of course, I got a thing of nails. I'm going with the Atlas nails, tried and true. They look pretty small. I've used them in the past. They do what they're supposed to do. And then I got a little thing of drill bits, and of course, I can't remember what I needed drill bits for. I honestly can't. I cannot remember what I needed a pinhole drill bit for. I'm gonna have to message James and be like, James, you listen when I talk, right? What did I mention I needed to use like a small hole for? Because I don't remember now. Oh, I remember. Well, so yeah, when you buy the track Code 100 Pico, there's no hole for the nail. So I gotta pre-drill the hole for the nail. He had to do the same thing, I believe, with the Walthers track. There's little whatchamacallit, there's little bumps where it shows you where the nail needs to go, but that's it. There's no hole. So compared to what I did with my old layout, because with the old layout, yeah, see, glad you were paying attention. Yeah, the nail in the track. Yeah, because with my old layout, I just glued everything down. Yeah, that was how I did that. And then I was thinking, it's less messy if I just nail it. I had to do the same thing over 10 years ago. Yeah. With my first thing that I did the nails as well, and that was about 10 years ago or so. And then I'm like, I heard that you could just glue it, and I was like, oh, neat. Okay, let me do that instead, and it worked, and it was way quicker. But now I'm like, takes a lot of glue. A takes a lot of time to set. B, I can't really readjust it if I glue it down and I'm not happy with it. So nailing it is probably my best bet. And also I'll be able to save more track if I have to move again. I know I don't like talking about it, but yeah. Because we've all seen it happen before. I'm not going to pretend like it's never happened. We're just holding our breath now. So yeah, that's what the nails are for. Thank you for reminding me. Sorry, not the nails, the drill bits. Otherwise, why would I have drill bits? Now, another thing that I do want to do, and I think this is a big reason why I don't use spray, is that there's going to be a bunch of handrails, and the handrails themselves are yellow. All the handrails are yellow, which, if I'm being honest, I should have probably glued together and glued to this before painting it all yellow, because then I could paint those yellow as well. Not a huge deal, but eh. Okay, I'm getting somewhere. Not really, because I still have a bunch to do. Oh, totally threw my paintbrush. Now, when I did my video talking about, this overall project, my plan, Dwight Curley, he had mentioned that he saw that somebody makes, I don't know if it's like a resin or what, somebody makes an insert for these kits, and it goes in the pit of the kit, like the between the tracks or under the tracks or whatever. And I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what it's for or how it works. But if anybody knows who this is and how to get in touch with them, because I'm really looking to detail the inside and outside of these kits. Like I want to add piping. I've got pictures and whatnot, and I really want to do a lot of detail stuff just to kind of make it look really cool. I'm willing to paint the pieces. I just need to know where to get the pieces. Chris saw them on Facebook somewhere. Well, Chris, if you find that link, if you find out who it is, let me know. I'd be interested to see what it is. Because, yeah, something I could definitely get behind. Like I know companies like Mini Prints, they offer, certain detail pieces. But if I'm looking for something specific, I know that they don't really do custom stuff. So I got to find something specific. Now for lighting, because I'm not there yet. I'm not at the part where I'm going to add the lights, but I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do for the lights because I already know. I am going to recycle the lights from my old layout. And these are LED strips. And because it's going to go, this is the walkway, and I need to light up under the walkway, I'm going to run an LED strip along here, and I'm going to run the wiring through the actual piece and to the underside. And then that's how I'm going to light up underneath the walkways here. I know there's probably a better explanation or a longer explanation I can give you, but that's just, and of course I will do that, and I will show you me doing that. So I'll do it live. Everything that you see with this kit, everything, how it's coming together, how it's being painted, I will do it all live every Saturday night. I've got lots of Saturdays ahead of me, so. And then I'll have a, whatchamacallit, a playlist as well, so you can catch up in case you miss any. Now, Walthers kits, after doing a wood kit from ITLA, I find it really hard to do this kit, just because the wood kit, I don't think there's anything better than doing a wood kit, and I only had to do one to figure that one out. But my only quarrel is that, if I want to do a diesel house, do they have a wood kit that would match what I need? Probably not. That would be amazing, but yeah. So instead, I kind of have to do this whole thing. Okay, so Dave from Crooked River, I'm having computer issues, so I'm not going to make it on tonight. Just know I'm basically doing exactly the same steps you are doing right now. All good. I was going to surprise you guys because Dave here from Crooked River and Eastern, I don't know if you've ever watched his channel. Hopefully you have. If you haven't, make sure you follow him. He has an awesome layout. And he has one of these kits as well. Now, he's not doing the 3 kits. He's just doing 1. But he said that he wanted to join because he was looking for an excuse to kind of do this kit, and me pulling this one out has kind of pushed him to get his done, which I think is pretty cool because this is what we do here. We like to inspire and show that something is not as hard as it might appear. Because I know that a lot of the things that I've done in the past, like doing a helix, it seems very intimidating. But then I did it, and it was like the best running part of my whole layout. So I like to show people that certain things like that are not that hard. Just to kind of get you motivated to do one for yourself. What we did with the wood kit, the ITLA wood kit, and yeah. Anthony says, "Hey Chris, one of the ways I've learned is Dabcock is good and clean way to put down track and clean, and if you move it again, it comes up easy." Now, is that track to cork or track to wood? How would you do that? Because that's one of those great debates that a lot of people have, and I'm a sucker for the cork, so I'll put cork down on main line to raise it up, of course, and then same thing with yards. It also gets rid of a lot of noise. But some people say, no, don't use cork. Cork bad. You know, some people put it right down on the wood. Some people use the extruded foam. So many ways to do this. I don't think there's a wrong way, but do whatever way you find works best for you. Because I've done it every single way. I've done it right down onto the wood. I've done it onto cork. I've done it onto foam. I've done it on cork onto foam with wood holding it. Yeah. The only thing I haven't used, truthfully, is, and I'm going to pronounce this totally, I'm going to butcher this, to be honest with you, homocetote? Homocetote? You know what? You know what I'm saying. That stuff that's, it's like wood or something. Building Conrail shared assets in my virtual train simulator right now while listening to you in the background. Building Detroit, Michigan area of Conrail. Neat. Another way is to build modules, and if you move again, just take the modules. So I do have modules. This is one of those interesting things that I don't think I shared with you guys yet. So I got a really good deal on some modules for the Railroad Club. Now, I've never joined a club, but I've ran with them many times, and the more I hang out with them, the more I'm kind of getting suckered into joining. So I'm okay with that. But they're a good group of guys, so I don't mind. But yeah, so I do have some modules that are under my current layout right now, and I hope to get a track plan going with those. I'm thinking of doing a pipe facility because I don't think they have one yet, and I've got lots of those pipe cars from Otter Valley, so it kind of works. It's a win-win. Homosite. This will be the great debate of 2024. James, you made it. Hey, James. Traveling can be fun. Uh, Perry just sent me a text message. Did I see it? I saw that, Perry. I don't know if you're still in the chat, Perry, but I saw that picture, but I had no idea what it was. Is it a P42? If it's a P42, I don't know why Rapido is doing P42s. But yeah, I don't know. It's just the front end of a locomotive. I didn't really understand it. There was zero context with the picture that they had posted. And if they're doing P42s, then Athern's going to be in trouble. Yeah, never thought I'd have to mark my cat safe from being eaten on Facebook. World shortage of cork. Yeah, it's a P42 for MTA, but if they do that railway, you know that. So isn't it a P40 then? If it's MTA, I thought it was just via that the P42. I might be wrong, but yeah, it's kind of weird, kind of late to the game for them to be doing the P40s and P42s though. I mean, you know, you've got Cato, whatever. You know, you got Athern. I'm sure there's others that have done. Who else has done the P40? Not sure if I would switch my Athern P42 for Rapido unless it was mind blowing. I mean, like the two that I have, like I've got the Love the Way and I've got the Renaissance in the, what is it, green? Yeah, it's like a greenish turquoise. And they were from this year. Other than the fact that they run off of whatchamacallit, Tsunami, other than that, they are perfectly fine. Well, okay, there was some function stuff, like the lights flashing and whatnot. They just put the American prototype stuff on there. But I was able to get that stuff changed anyway. So, you know, nothing lost, nothing gained. But for Rapido to now do it, it seems silly. I mean, all the more to them if they can make something even better than what Athern has done, then all the more to them. But I don't know if it's worth it or not. I have no idea. I don't know if I missed any comments or anything. So you'll have to forgive me if somebody said something and I did not catch it. Don't forget, I'll be live Monday night putting a hole in my wall. You heard it here first. Got to make up for the fact that Mike's been MIA for over a month now. Somebody else has got to start putting holes in the walls, so it might as well be me. That's what the people want. Almar, how's it going? He's someone else that I got to meet at Springfield last year. Great guy. Barry, you need to come to Springfield. I know work sucks and all that stuff, but you gotta go, man. Imagine how like your Flickr page would blow up just by going for one day. I always give him a hard time for using Flickr. I have no idea what Flickr is. Well, obviously, it's like a website like Facebook, but it's more just pictures. Just like I've never heard of this before. I like to give him a hard time. It's not an official layout unless you put a hole in the wall. Well, with the last layout that I had, I'm like, how can I expand this? How can I go further? And of course, the guys were always like, well, just put a hole in the wall. And I'm like, oh, I can't because, I rented the house. Not going to put a hole in the wall if I'm renting. But this house, I built these walls. I put these walls up. So, you bet your bottom dollar I'm going to put some holes in it. I'm going to run trains through it. So, there's that. It's the P40 MTA NYC Transit Heritage Scheme. You've said so many things there that I know nothing about. So MTA obviously is Metra, but like I don't know too much about Metra. NYC, I've seen it on a map. Transit, I understand. Heritage Scheme, I get what that means, but when you say MTA NYC Transit Heritage Scheme, I have no idea. I'm lost. So if you said, hey, Chris, have you seen that new MTA NYC Transit Heritage something or other? And like, I have no idea what that looks like. I wouldn't know if I, seen it on the street, if it passed me, it rolled on by. There is Perry's Flickr page, and it's full of a lot of custom work that he does. You should check it out. He also did a version of this kit as well. He used two, but he made them long and offset. It looks really cool. And you'll be able to see pictures of that on his Flickr. Never put a hole in a load-bearing wall unless you want structural damage done to the home. Found out the hard way once. Yikes. Well, I know none of these walls that I've put up are load-bearing. So, there's that. But yeah. Hey, Bubs, how's it going? Good evening. Cloverdale Rail, how's it going? Yeah, so imagine my luck having to pop out 400. Well, it was just under 400, let's be honest. It wasn't a full 400. I would have thrown in the towel if that was the case. I think it was like something like 374 or 375, something like that. No, it would have to be an even number. 374, we'll say. And yeah, It's a lot of them. So popping them all out. So I popped them all out. And then I have to go back and then I have to clean off each one. And then after cleaning off each one, I'm making, obviously it's a huge pile. It's a big pile of them. And then I have to go back and I have to pick up each one individually and place it on, a paint board like this, because I've got it right here, right beside me. And it has to be, spaced out a little bit and all facing the same way for some reason, because I'm weird like that. It doesn't really matter because I spray, all four sides regardless. So that was fun. And it took like two days to do all four. I'm just saying there's 400. It's way easier. It took me 2 days to do all 400 of them. Did not know that I bit off more than I could chew when I did that. Didn't quite think that one through. Hey, Tim. They make it like that. How's it going? Anthony says, Chris, it will be Penn Central Paint Scheme P40. Oh, Penn Central. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it looks, well, the front picture of it looks nice. Did they actually announce it, or is that just like their teaser? Because it's like they did a teaser for the GP40 TC, and that was like, I don't know how long ago that was, but where's the model? You know what I mean? Like, where's the sales pamphlet or whatever they call it, sales packet, and pre-order something. So, it's one of those things, you believe it when you see it. And if I don't see it, then I'm not going to believe it. So, we'll see. Hopefully. But yeah, if they do the VIA one, then, I already got P42, so I might be good. But like Chris said, they'd have to be pretty special looking in order for me to be like, okay, yeah, I'd buy that. Yeah. What are we doing? Well, we're talking. Thanks for interrupting, Tim. Just kidding. No, I'm building a kit, but I'm building a kit times 3. So I'm building one kit that's the size of 3. It's kind of a kit bash, kind of a what was I thinking situation. Yeah, it's just really big. Really, really big. And Tim, I know you're doing your 3D printing there. So if you can think of anything that would go in a diesel shop that you can print off, let me know. Because I know that there's a whole bunch of stuff like scaffolding and stuff like that might be used. I've got a scissor lift. I think I'm going to put a guy on a scissor lift inside. Maybe he's changing a light bulb or something. I don't know. But we'll have to see. Yeah, Tim, I'll send you the picture. But basically, it's Whitby, the Whitby Go facility that I'm building. And part of it looks like the diesel house, but there's nine ports instead of 3. And then I have to build a separate structure that's going to go right beside it that it has 2 bays as well. So it's going to be a really, really big kit. This is the base of 1. So you can imagine that. There's the pits. And then the rails go across there. So imagine that times 3. Pretty big. Pretty big. So it's going to keep me busy for a while. Yeah, your old stomping ground, right? There is the link for the Flickr page for Perry's diesel house, and yeah, that's really cool how he did that. But he had to like really chop it up in order to make the two fit together. But I think he did a really good job. I love seeing stuff like that because you're taking something that looks, completely different, and then you're making it your own. Have a good night, Floyd. We'll see you next week. Um, yes, like, please. Like one for the side of the building and then one completely separate, like road sign kind of thing. Or like, yeah, whatever. You know what? Do whatever. I don't even care. I'll make it. I'll make it work. If you print it, they will paint it and add it to their buildings. I already love the garbage cans that you made me. They are excellente. They look so good and so realistic outside of my wood structure kit. They're very eye catching for a garbage can, anyways. Right? As eye catching as a garbage can be. I think it's the graffiti on it and the weathering that make it look that much cooler. But yeah, yeah. When I look at the inside of this building, because I've got pictures of or renderings, I guess you could say. There's a lot of piping that run from the floor up the wall to like towards the ceiling or the rafters, whatever you want to call it. And that's rafters, not raptors. I know we're talking about Toronto, but let's focus, everybody. So yeah, there's a lot of piping. There's black piping, white piping. There's a lot of markings on the pipe as well. There's little vents and stuff. It's crazy. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to add some stuff from whatchamacallit, ITLA as well, because they've got some really nice vents. And if I can add vents and attach them to the ceiling, then that'll look cool too. Because what I plan to do is I plan to put a solid piece of wood as the roof, and it's going to cover these three kits, and then it's going to cover the other two kits that are going to be right beside it, and it's going to be one big roof piece because it's all going to be on one module together. So might as well have the whole thing removable. Abandoned vans are next. That'll be exciting. Tim, did you want to put up the link for your Etsy? It's Etsy, right? Your Etsy store? Just so people can see what you're talking about. We're sharers here. We like to share. Harry sharing his pictures, and you can share your link to your Etsy store so people can buy your garbage cans and whatever else you got going on. Harry, I might have another project for you in the spring. Oh, Perry does a lot of my custom painting as well. He did my Pepsi train. He's doing my Go train. He did one of my ONRs for me, my Ghost train. So if you ever need anything done, Just ask Perry. Where do you find decent pics of shop interiors? Wouldn't you like to know, Joe Raider? I googled it. That's it. That's yeah. That's about it. I googled it. But here's the thing: when they were building the shop, there was a bunch of renderings that were done. You know, not true pictures. Like somebody took a picture of the inside. That's kind of what I'm going off of. There are some realistic ones too, which I'm pretty sure were taken by somebody. They do a lot of tours, and I know a couple of guys that have gone on a tour at the actual Go facility and have posted those as well. So I'm going to try to utilize stuff like that to more or less do up the inside how I think it should look or pretty close to. That's exactly what I said, Chris, because he had mentioned it to me prior, and I'm like, a van down by the river. Or I live in a van down by the river. It's an SNL. Chris gets it. Perry, question for you while you're there. Do you think, because the club meet is on the 19th and 20th, are you going to be there both days, or are you just going to be there on the Saturday? What's your plan for that? Because I'm probably going on the Sunday this month. I'm just wondering if you'll be there. Chris, let's just go. Let's just go what? This guy talks in poetry. Just Saturday usually. Darn. Do you think my loco will be done by then? Question mark. Two more. Two more. I promise. There's just two more. Okay, I need more pink. This is probably something else I should have done off camera. I didn't know I was going to be doing it this long because it's, oh, geez, I started at 8. It's 9:20 now. So, yeah, I've been doing this for like an hour, almost an hour and a half, just painting yellow striping. It's the kind of thing that takes time. This all takes time. It's all process. Don't rush. Don't rush it. I'm just curious because like I think Bubs is going to be there both days. So I mean, like, if you want, you can leave with him, but let me know, because then I'll bring some cars so I can, you know, run it. I have to go pick up my slug set from Mark as well, so that I can do some switching. I have to get my switching license or something, whatever you guys call it there. You guys are literally watching paint dry right now. Sorry, Joe. But we're having good conversation. Well, at least it feels one-sided, because I'm like talking out loud. But I'm okay with that, because you guys are obviously making conversation and suggesting things, and then telling me about MBTA or whatever it's called. And we are having fun. Joe has spoken. Thank you for having fun. Yeah, no, I asked. The funny thing is that I'm like, hey, Mark, so about the slug set, are you are you in love with it yet, or like, are you done with it? 'Cause I don't want to rush them, right? But I was also like, well, I want to run it. I haven't even run it yet. Like, literally, I've had it for a couple of months now. No track, nothing hooked up on my end. And I'm finally going to the club, because obviously the club doesn't run during the summer. And I missed last month because I had to work the weekend that they were doing their setup. So October, I actually get to go to the club, which is great, because I'm off that weekend. But I'm only going for one day, because I can really, I don't want to stretch my good graces with my wife and say I'm going all weekend long to the train club. No, I'm going to do one day. So I would like to run it, because he like I said, Bubs, what do I need to bring anything? What's good? What's going on? He's like, well, you need to do your switching thing. Bring a 4-axle locomotive. And then I turn around, and in my display case, is like a whole row of 6-axle Gevos. And I'm like, well, sorry, fellas. Guess, you won't be coming. But then I'm like, shoot, do I have a 4-axle locomotive? Remembering that I had sold one of my GP40s, and not remembering that I had a Slug and Jeep 9 set, because it's been that long. And then I'm like, oh yeah, Mark has it. I could totally bring that and run that. You should see the work Perry did on my 2 via P42s. I did see the work, but Perry could always post the Flickr link, because he's been doing that. He's good like that. He knows his Flickr page better than I would, so. Okay, that was the last one, I swear. I think I can untape some of these now, which is good. I just don't know where to put this stuff, so that I'm not making a mess. Okay. So clean that off. Oh, look at that. There you go. He's just full of links today. Now, which one was the first one I did? Can I put this on the floor without dumping? Yes. Okay. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is the first one I did. I don't know. Probably. Maybe. Who knows? If you guys are into this whole thing, like the removing tape and oh, oh, that's clean. That's so clean. Nice. Good job, Perry. He was telling me that he used to work for like painting cars, and that's what they would do. I learned all this cool. I'm gonna say the fun word, but I learned all this cool stuff from Barry. From Barry. Perry, it's so clean. I even have my touch-up paint, but it's like I don't even need it. Look at it. Hold on a second. Let me get this closer so you can see this. It's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Look at that. You can smell how clean that is. You could eat a cheeseburger off of it. Oh my gosh. Okay, I got to do some more of these. I'm so happy. Until I mess one of these bad boys up. You know how long it takes to tape this stupid stuff up? A while. You know how much free time I have? Apparently a lot. But you know what? Like, I'm so happy with how that looks. Oh. Okay, so just to reiterate, this is what I did. I taped it. I taped my lines, right? Like where I want the line. You can basically do this anywhere. You can do it on a locomotive. You could do it on a car. You can do it obviously on a building or whatever. So you tape it off. Then I sprayed it with clear coat. And what that does is it seals right where the line is, like the tape line. And then when you paint over it, it doesn't cause bleeding. See, because I had heard, spray the color that you're covering up, right? So in this case, because I'm doing gray, like it's gray, you do the lines, like you cover it with the tape, and then you spray it the gray color, and then you do your yellow or whatever. But then I asked him, like, Perry, you can use just a clear coat, right? And he said, yeah. And I'm like, oh, sweet, because I've got like a bunch of that. So I just use that opposed to wasting more gray. I think Trackside Mike will be back on the 15th. I think that's when he's done his stuff. Bubs, I think you might have missed it, but because James is out of town as of today, I'm covering for them on Monday. And I've decided to put a hole in the wall to kind of commemorate the fact that they like to put the holes in the walls. So that's what I'll be doing on Monday night. I know I should probably be careful doing this, somewhat, probably. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm so excited. And I'm like, well, none of them seem messed up, so I think I'm doing okay. Uh, this one was really stuck. Okay. So that's one that's cleared. Cool. Very happy. Very yeah. So there you go. So there's some safety lines there. They're probably not all the same size, not gonna lie, but I tried to make it as close to the edge as possible. Um, yeah, I don't think it matters too much. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, so you'll see here that you've got your posts, and this is the halfway, so these posts here are closer to the front. This is the front, and this is the back. So when we're looking at the building, it's going to go just like that. So the front has the much higher part right here. Yep. So I just gotta keep that in mind when it comes to adding all the little detail parts and stuff. When it comes to adding the lights, so I've got two sections here where I'm going to have the lights going right down the middle. I don't think I need them down the sides. I mean, I could, but I don't think I need it. What do you guys think? Do you think I should just do the middle, or should I do 1, 2, 3, and 4? Let me know what you think. And this is what I'm going to use here. I know it's kind of silly because I have it wrapped around a piece of wood, but this is how I saved it from my house, because this is one strand. I don't know how long it is, but basically it starts here, and I have it wrapped around just to make sure it doesn't get damaged or anything. Probably going to have to use hot glue to keep it in place, but I'm going to wire it all together, and then I've got this button, and then that's where I add the power here, and I plug it into the wall. So I'm going to have to put the LEDs going right down, and then fish the wires through. But I got to drill holes for the wires, and I got to be able to hide those wires so that you do not see them at all. There are 4 lights. I think if I just do the 2, it'll be easier to hide the wiring. And then I'm going to have lights up above as well, lighting the whole thing. I also want to get the overhead traveling crane, but that's really just for the front part here. And it doesn't really travel. It's more like static. It just stays in this area. I don't think there's enough room back here to put like a car or a loco and then So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to drill the 2 holes to hide what I think will be where the wires should go. And that's what I'm going to have to do with each one. So if this is the front, I'm going to wire here because you'll see it if it's at the back. No, I don't think you'll see it. I think it'll be easier to wire it from the back. Yeah. So I'm putting a dummy piece of wood there just in case things go weird. I've got a decent sized drill bit here, and where I'm drilling, and I'll show you, these pieces here, they have railings on them, and this goes up like this, and it goes to the walkway. I'm going to drill a hole right under the, like where this is going to go, so you won't see it anyways. You don't have to go all nutty with it. Just go slow enough that you can make a hole. And like you can see it there, right? Big enough to fit the wire through. Nothing too crazy. On both sides of the pits. Fine. It's not going to be as cool, but I guess. Is there an easy way to hide those ones? Well, if that's the back, then I can just... Well, how do you get up to those walkways? You can't. You can't get up to those walkways. They're just there. So, because like those go like that, but there's nothing here to get up to this. So, I kind of have to do whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it right here. Hope for the best. Wait, how thick is that? Okay, that's not too bad. Get out the putty. If I got a clean hole and it's not tearing this thing apart. It's actually very clean. It's a clean hole. Yeah, so I got to do one more hole here. You guys twisted my arm, and now I'm doing lights, 4 sets of lights on each one of these things, as if I, didn't already have to do a bunch of stuff on these things. That's fine. It's fine. It'll look good still, but I'm going to complain a little bit. I've made a mess now. Okay, so I've got you can see the 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. You won't even know they're there. I'll know they're there, but you won't. You'll be like, where where does that wire go? And I'll be like, shh, there's no. Okay, that was important. I needed to do that. That's great. I think I should start putting these little white things in here now so that I can do that. So for this, I'm using Bob Smith Industries Insecure. Insecure for when you're feeling insecure. This one here, for no particular reason, it's gap filling. I just always use this regardless, but it is good if you're trying to fill in a gap. It dries and fills in the gap. Yep, that's about it. Oh, it's really good if you're like, because this is painted, right? So painted parts to painted parts, it'll hold. Need to get going, Chris. Have a good night. James, thank you for stopping by. Always great to see you. Have fun. Don't have too much fun, but have fun. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Sure, I uses glue in a bit. There we go. Contact. So as I was saying, yeah, there's like almost 400 of these things, and I'm not thrilled because there's so many. And I'm just putting a little dab of glue. I'm so thankful that they put these little squares here. And basically what you do is you take your thing that has a little square base and you put it right in that little square hole. And it lines up and it's perfect. It's just perfection. And you just got to make sure they're all pointing the same way, because if you're not, then you're doing it wrong. That's how you know. So see, I've got 4 there already. They're looking okay. They're all the same. They all look the exact same. But they've got the 2 little grooves on the top, right on the top there where the rail sits. So you kind of just have to make sure that they're all going in line here. Hope for the best. And just kind of make sure they're in the right place. Now, for something like that there, of course, like I've got so many to do at one time. So yeah, I did spray them all with the white. And I know what you're saying. White. White is an odd choice. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they started off with white paint on them. But again, going off of reference photos, they are little white risers. There was actually a bit more white that needs to be on the walkways, and I said no, I don't want to do the white on there. Same thing with the walkways to come up. I said no to that as well. So this is all you do. As long as everything's painted and you've prepped everything, then this part here kind of just goes together. I'm just taking them off one at a time here. Hopefully, Dave gets his computer working there and he'll be able to join next Saturday, and then he can tell us all about what he thinks of this kit. Mind you, he only has one to do, so less to worry about. So he won't be complaining probably as much as me. Now, another thing, when I did my first one a long time ago, I realize now where I had made certain mistakes, which is great because it's almost like you have to build the kit and make those mistakes in order to build it again and do it way better. And that's definitely going to be the case here because with this piece here, I put the metal, the little grate thing over top of it first, and I was trying to fit it in here, and it doesn't fit. And here I am, like shaving it down and whatnot, and it just doesn't fit in the square. And I was like, well, that's a lousy design. But when I read the instructions, what it says is to put the clear glass in, and that's supposed to fit in here. And then you put the other piece, the plastic piece, on top, which probably would have been helpful if I did that the first time. So the glass was like inward. It was closer to the inside of the building as opposed to it being flat with the wall. So certain things weren't sitting flat against the wall. And I had no idea why. I thought it was just a poor design. Turns out it was just me. So it really helps when you know what you're doing. Also, you'll be happy to know that this time around I'm doing code 100. So anytime you see me using track, it'll probably be code 100. I'm still not a huge fan of the curved turnouts, because I find that with code 100 curved turnouts, there's two different ones. There's a small and a large. And the small one's too small for passenger cars, I find. And the large one is just too large. So what I was thinking for certain areas is getting the number 7, which is a code 83. I had some of those on my last layout. Again, not a huge fan of curved turnouts, but it worked. The only thing I'll have to do is get the piece. There's a small piece that you can get, and it's a straight piece, and it's a code 100 to code 83. So I'm thinking of putting a piece of that on each side of the actual turnout. That way I can get a really good curve, or a decent curve, I should say. And then, still be able to use code 100 on my main. Oh, you tried that as well? Darn. Okay, well, I don't know. There's got to be another way to do this. I'll figure something out. But yeah, it's weird how it goes. I think I feel a lot better shimming down the clear plastic just to make sure that it fits in that square, opposed to the other thing, the it's not mesh, but it just like it's a whole bunch of little squares. How's that looking so far? That looks okay, right? Looks like it's supposed to. It's not terrible. They say to have the crane on hand when you're building this, so that you can make it fit, or you have to make adjustments in order to do it properly. So I think that when I go to do the you know higher up section on this, I'll wait till I have the crane, which I can order probably like next week or something. I've got a lot more to do, obviously, before I start doing the crane. And that includes all the lighting and whatnot. So far, so good. I really like doing this. The transition track have worked well for me. Make sure they are oriented correctly. The transition track. So the code 100 to code 83 is what you're referring to there, Ray, right? Because if I do, so if this is the code 83 turnout, right? I got to put a code 83 to code 100 on each end. So as long as the code 100 is out on both ends, then I should be able to transition code 100 to code 83, which is the switch, and then back to code 100 after. That shouldn't be a problem, right? Except for the fact that I'm making the turnout a little bit bigger by adding a straight piece. I think it's like a 2 or 3 inch straight piece. I know it's weird. It's very unorthodox, I find, to do that, but I really don't like the turnouts, the code 100 turnouts. I don't know what it is. I just don't like them. Yeah. So did you cut those rail supports out and stick them to tape ahead of time? I cut them all off the sprue, made a pile. I cleaned each one individually with my, knife and file, made another pile of the clean ones, and then I put the tape down, and then I stuck every single one individually. I think on one piece of tape, I was able to get about 50 to 60 individual little stands. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a half strips. So you should be able to do like 2 or 3. Because how many is it? For one kit, it's 126. So 360, 370. Oh, it's almost 380. Yeah, so there's almost 380 that I have to do, but yeah, you only have 126. Lucky. I'll trade you. I'm just using a little dab of glue because it's really good. It'll hold really well. I'm going to let it dry overnight. Not that I'll need it. Temperature down here is pretty good. I never really get cold. Like in my old house, it was cold in the summer and freezing in the winter. but the air in this house seems to be a bit more regulated, so I don't suffer as much, which is good because I work down here for, you know, 8 hours at a time. Yeah, only 130 or whatever. I know I make it sound like it's like nothing, but yeah, there's that was honestly the worst part of this whole thing is doing every single little one of these. Painting it is whatever, but yeah, cleaning every single one, popping it out. I use these are my plastic snips. I use these for taking stuff off the sprues because it's way cleaner and way quicker. So yeah, I remove everything with those, and it takes off a majority of it. And some of them had some flash on it, but it's like what, three out of the entire thing. So I wasn't, you know, I wasn't stressing. You should never, if you're doing this and it's like causing you stress, then you're doing it wrong. Or just take a break because yeah, this is supposed to be fun. This is a hobby. You don't have hobbies to cause you stress. It's supposed to take away the stress. But again, I stand by it. If anybody wanted me to do this for them, I'd say I'll do it. But you're doing all those little pegs. You do it, not me. I'll do the rest. I'll paint them, but I'm not popping them out. Yeah, no, that's true, Perry. 100%. Once the track is in, and then the locomotive just rolls right over, and it's elevated just like that. Ooh, and you're looking at it, and you're like, yeah, that's pretty sweet. And it's a pretty long, you know, it's a long bay, right? So these are supposed to be more for passenger cars, you know, some locomotives. I can do both because they have that option with the Go Transit there, where they work on some locomotives and they move them out, and then the odd car that if it needs to be repaired or any sort of maintenance, they can get under it, they can get above it, they can change out the wheels. They do all that at the shop. And the two other buildings that I still need to make, well, it's another two bay building that gets attached, and it sticks out a little bit further than this one. That's the actual paint shop. So I won't need to have the pits for that one. It's just going to be flat. But I was asking you about the whole fueling thing as well, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure they have a section there where they do their fueling as well for their locomotives. And I do need to add that somewhere in here just to kind of, you know, chef's kiss, kind of make it just a little bit more detailed. And I was wondering if the tracks lined up, but you were able to confirm that it looks pretty good. But I have to get the newer one in order for it to line up, which I'm okay with. You know, it's fine. That one allows you to do a bit more of a custom job anyways. So I'm okay with that. The transition track is 6-inch long, 3 inches of 10, or sorry, 103 inches of 83, but easy to install backwards. Ask me how I know. I'm afraid to ask you, but I have a pretty good idea of why you're letting me know to be extra careful. Good night, guys. See y'all next time. All right, Ronald. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna keep trekking on here a little bit. I think I want to get at least this one bay done with these things here before I call it quits for tonight. I know it's already been 2 hours, but it's like most of that was painting safety stripes. I don't want to wait till next Saturday to find out how the rest of the safety stripes worked out. I think I'll let all the other ones dry. And then if I need to do a second coat, that's what I can do during the week. This one's okay. This one worked out. I'm not mad at this one. But those walkways were a little bit trickier. And I'm worried about the paint on those. Also, during the week, I'll be able to get the front doors and back doors painted. I've got that new can of white paint, so I'll be able to get those done. By the way, I've been thinking about or trying to come up with a way to do a garage door that opens and closes just for the front. The back is going to be closed because I want it to be back. It's going to be back against the wall. But I want the front door to open and close. And I've been trying to think of a way that I can do that. Another way that I can step this kit up a little bit here. So if anybody has any ideas as to how I can make the door roll up, or if there's something I can, do to make that a thing, let me know. I'm sure there's probably a kit somewhere that comes with like a servo. That might be a bit much. That might be something that I'm not going to do. No servos. I'm going to avoid the servos. But I was thinking, because this is the door, or a door, one of the doors. So that's the door there. It goes down, goes right over the rail. But it's plastic. It has a bit of a bend to it, but not much, right? So my thought was, and there's two thoughts. My first thought is cut this in strips and then put a solid piece of tape on the back to hold it. That way, it can flex, but it'll all stay together. And then I have a piece coming out on each one that sticks out on all sides, like on both sides, to kind of go up like a rail, up a thing, a guide almost. I don't know if that makes sense, like up, just straight up or whatever. But that, or I get like just a thinner piece that's corrugated, and then cut it into a strip and have it as a long door. I don't know. Ideas are always welcome, but yeah, that's kind of where I've landed with that. Weissman has a roll-up door that you can use for that kit, same size as Walthers engine house. Weissman. I will look into that. Weissman roll-up door. Sounds like something I'd have to import. Just being honest. Is it one of those things that it's like, like a German company or something? And I don't know. Like, yeah, because if it's going to take like, a month to get here, that might be a long wait. I don't want it that badly. I just want to do a door that I can lift up or close when it's not in use. And I want others to be able to roll up the door as well. Like if somebody came to my house and said, I'm going to put this locomotive in the repair shop because it needs something. I say, okay, put it in bay 3. And then they can easily get that door up, get the locomotive in, and then, nothing gets broken or, whatever. So that's my thought. Chris Weisman. No, Weisman is the 92-day inspection. Yeah, so basically, I would just need to be able to get it in and without breaking anything. That looks cool so far, right? And it's like not boring because they're like white and they stand out on the gray. I like it. I think I'm doing my supports in white as well. Also, I haven't painted my supports yet because I ran out of white paint. These supports, I've already done these. These are for the walkways. They're white, so that's going to look cool. And the white is also going to reflect the light a little bit better, so it won't be dark in there. That's for sure. Now I kind of want to hit the top of these little stands here with some silver, so that when you put the rail on, it looks like metal. But I'll do that later. I want to get them all in place first. Them all glued down. This is such a big job. It's not really something that can be done in like a week or a day. Still going. Almost done. Almost done. Well, one platform kit here. I think I'm just gonna finish that and then probably call it. But I'll show you obviously what I've done. I didn't get to add the lighting yet, but I did drill the holes for the lighting, so that's fun. I'm excited about that. Also, this light here has a dimmer, so I can dim them if it is too bright. your stream is 7 hours in. I was watching earlier. Does the Bowser do anything? Because I know that you're doing a Peach, a Mario, and then Bowser, but it's like, is it like a bank? Or is it is it just a figure? I might have missed it. I say my kids like Mario as well. Avid Nintendo people. Yes, it's a German company, Keebri. They're a Canada distribution hobby store and rental. It's European imports in the US has them also. Yeah. Tim, what say you? I need the doors here. I've got these are the doors, but I need to make them roll up doors just on one side. So I need 9 doors that can basically roll up and then roll back down. And yeah, I know it's a tall ask. Tim was talking about making some detail parts for me earlier, so I don't want to make him too busy. Also, weathering this is going to be another task, which I don't want to make it too dirty because the shop is still relatively new. I don't remember when it was built, but it's not too old. Oh, you want functional roll-up doors? Yes. Only on the front. On the back, no. I'm going to make them solid doors on the back because it's going to go up against a wall. But if there is a way to make it so that the front doors roll up, that would be so cool. I'm just trying to come up with ways to make this like a next level kit, you know? Like, I don't like doing what's on the front of the box. You know, if it tells you that this thing cannot fly, I want to do whatever it takes to make it fly, you know? So, whatever we can do to make those doors roll up, I'm definitely down to clown and see what works, what doesn't work. Hey, Steve. Nelson. Nelson, if you want to send me a link, if you got a link for me that you think will help me out here, there's my email address. It's on screen right there. That's open to anybody who, you know, either wants to take part in lives and whatnot, or if you want to send me something that you feel I need to see. That's my channel email right there. Yeah, Tim, if you if you come up with an idea and you think it's doable, let me know. Hey Russ, how's it going? Yeah, there was just under 400 total because I'm doing 3 of these kits, so quite a bit of peers. I guess you could call it peer pressure because there's so many peers here. So I gotta get this done, but probably gonna call it a night soon, and then we'll pick it up next week. See? That's a lot of peers. And I didn't lose any either. That's the important part. I think during the entire process, I only dropped 2 on the floor, and I remembered to pick them up and everything. So kudos. Kudos for that. So that's what we got so far. This is what we did today. It was already painted. I had these lines taped off here, but thanks to Perry, I got probably the cleanest lines I've ever done. And those are my safety lines. And then I've added piers. I drilled. I'm going to show you here. There's 4 holes. I've got 1, 2. Oh, there you go. Now you can see the holes. There's the 4 holes there because I'm going to be adding lighting to this thing. And always plan ahead. Now I got to do this 3 times. 3 times because there's going to be 1 kit here, 1 kit here, and 1 kit here. And it's going to make one really big engine facility or car shop, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's going to do everything. So, yeah, I'm having lots of fun doing this. Even though it sounds like I'm complaining through most of it. That's okay. That's just me. That's me doing my thing. Again, so I've got my outside walls, which have the sections here, right? And then all my inside walls look like this, where I've opened it right up and they're already painted. Both sides are white. And then basically these are going to go in between each of the kits. But I have to do it as 3 individual kits, and I think near the end I will pinch them all together. I have to glue them to a board that is super flat with no flex, just so that they lay flat. I'm going to have to glue them to that board, wire them up, and just pray it. The whole thing works, and the whole thing comes together. That's my lighting there. I've got lighting on a roll. These are all LEDs. I have to chop those all up and put them, under the walkways here. Are my walkways dry? That's not bad. Okay, I'm gonna undo this one. I'm gonna see. So I did the exact same thing with this one that I did with that, just to kind of show you, and then we can be like, ooh, ah, together. So that's not bad. I'm not mad. It looks all right, and that's gonna go right like that with the lighting underneath. That'd be cool. Obviously, it needs to be weathered, but so that's just another thing on the list there that I got to do. But got lots of time still. I'm not really rushing through this thing. I taking my time for the most part, but it's just there's a lot of little things to do, so it will take a while. Yeah, I know that with the doors. So this is like the front door of one of them. So you got to imagine three of these side by side. Um, Obviously, the top has to be white. The inside all has to be white. That has to be concrete, the concrete color to line up with that. Same with that. And then I'm thinking of doing the inside part here black just to kind of make it solid. And of course, there's a door here, and then we've got the roll up doors have to go in line with all 9 of those. So that within itself, that's going to be a lot of work, but it's fun. We're having fun. I keep telling myself that, that this was what we're doing here. I wonder if the car even fits inside there. Those bi levels are pretty high. Um, should be fine. Should be. Keyword should. Thank you, Nelson. Worst case, I think Tim said that he has an idea, but we'll see what happened. Didn't think they rolled up, just went up and down. Well, they've got, there's this thing that goes right above the door, and it almost looks like it would roll up into this thing, or at least that's where the chain goes. There's no chain here, by the way. Where's that piece? It's just a little cap that goes. Here we go. Okay, let's see if I can hold that still and it can focus. So see these little pieces here? They cap the doors on both the front and back. And that basically it goes up. I don't know. It just... But I think also there's more room on the front because it's the higher part. So if I do have the door roll up on the front, let me see what would be the best. Where'd my doors go? Okay, well, here's a door. I haven't painted this one yet. So on the inside, it just goes like this, but it should definitely be on the inside, but it doesn't, there's no specific place for it to go. It doesn't lock in anywhere. So if it comes up, I could have it come up right up to there, basically right up to this edge here. And I'm pretty sure whatever goes inside, like Loco or whatever, can fit. But it would still need to go up that high in order for whatever to go inside. And I'd like to be able to leave it, maybe crack it a little bit. Don't put it all the way up, have it just so that, whoever's working can go in and out the door there. Or you can just see the bottom half of the locomotive, Presentation is everything. But yeah, it's just an idea. Oh wait, this is the inside. So yeah, nothing really locks it in place. So I've got a little bit of room here that I can attach something on both sides and then have it go straight up. We'll have to see. I don't know if Tim needs measurements or anything like that, but we'll see what happens. Is it all glass? Yes and no. The glass, I know we're going on a little bit longer than what I thought I was going to do, but this feels important. Okay, so these are the glass pieces here. So I'm just going to take this one off. Okay, so that's the outside, that's the inside. So this part here should be, keeping in mind there's a whole bunch of, I didn't clean this or anything. So this is supposed to go right inside here. and it would technically fit inside this entire space here. Again, should, but like I'm having a heck of a time right now. Yeah, yeah. So it should technically fit in there, but and then the plastic piece that covers that would go on the outside. So yeah, it is basically like it is all glass because then you have another piece up here as well. But that should be it. That should really be the only thing that's really keeping it, you know, from being super flat against it or whatever. No area for Weisman door. Well, just got to do something custom. I hope Tim is prepared for that. Russ, you're absolutely right. Engine houses always do add a good look to most layouts. You know, this style here, which is a bit more modern, I'd say. You know, I wouldn't really see it going off of like a turntable, but yeah, something like this here, and then there's a couple of other uh, options, like a brick style one. Those ones you can expand. I think Sparky has one, and he has like two or three side by side as well, and they're all connected. It looks like one big shop, but those are actually meant to be together because it gives you the in the instructions. It says cut here, and cut here, and then glue these pieces to here, and it actually allows you to do that. For this one, you're kind of doing your own thing at that point, right? If you want to combine them, I didn't think that they would find that people would actually want to do this. They're like one's enough. You don't need five or seven. But it's just such a cool kit that you can't help but, well, one looks good. Let's do a couple more. Tim is prepared. Nice. Have a look at the file I sent you, and you'll understand. Yeah, I'll take a look, and I think that there was a couple of links that were sent to me, so I'll go over all that, and we can discuss all that stuff a little bit further next week. Do you have the overhead crane? I do have to order that still. It says in the instructions, because this time around I decided to read the instructions. It says that when you go to do certain parts of this, mostly the front and the upper, like all the beams and whatnot, it says to make sure that you have the overhead crane already. That way you can kind of, prepare certain things or make it fit a little bit better. I only want one. I don't need one for all three. I think I might put it in the middle. I don't know. I don't really care. I'll add it. Even if I don't add it, it won't matter, but I do want to detail it really, really well. So I'll probably have to. There's no way I'm adding three. I don't care enough to add three, but I'll at least put one in. So even if I do the two outside ones normal, like how it shows in the instructions, and then the middle one, I prep that one specifically for the overhead crane, I can get it at whatever time. Doesn't matter. So, but there you go. That's one. It's not done. It's just I've got that far. So next week, we'll continue next week, and hopefully I get even more done, and this thing doesn't drive me crazy. So stick around for that, because that'll be fun to watch. And I'll check with Tim throughout the week to see what he thinks as far as what would work, what wouldn't work, what we can do, make these doors roll up and down, add a little bit more character. If there's any detail parts that we can add to bring it to life, we're going to do all that. We'll do all that here. You'll see it happen live. And let's build this kit. Let's build like one big kit. I don't regret it yet. Stick around for when I regret it. You guys have yourselves a great week. Come back Monday where I decide to put a hole in the wall for a totally different reason, of course. And then I'll be back Thursday for Third Rail Thursday, which I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. Might have to build a layout. Might have to work on the layout because can't all be kits, right? That's Saturday night's thing. But thank you everybody for joining. I'm going to go home. I've got a train to catch. See ya.